so we just got another mail call after we got back from our trip, and someone went on the wish list and got Raylan, this Lego Friends like jungle rescue base. And then someone got Wyatt on the Lego City. It's a little spaceship. We love doing these together. It's a lot of fun. And then Miss Lena sent us 18 quart jars and a bunch of pints. Thank you all greatly.
Thank you so much. And
oh yeah,
some olive oil spray.
And a sticker.
And a sticker.
Some stickers.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all greatly. Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And we are freshly back from the Appalachian Fair. Man, what a time that was.
It was so much fun.
We had an absolute blast. First off, thank you to the Appalachian Fair, to Lisa and Gary. They were the ones that invited us to come, and thank you to the Appalachian Fair for having us. We very much look forward to going back every single year because it was that much fun. So if you have no idea what we were talking about, we've been kind of building up to this. Told everybody that we was invited to come, and was hoping that some of you all would come, which you did. Yeah. Thank you. But the Appalachian Fair is held in Gray, Tennessee, right beside the Tri-Cities. So Johnson City, Tennessee, Bristol, and Kingsport. Yes. It's like in the middle of those three. Right in the heart of Appalachia, Blue Ridge Mountains, which are absolutely gorgeous. We're more around the Smoky Mountains. Yeah. So it was a rare occurrence when we get to see the Blue Ridge Mountains. But anyways, we went down there. We had a speaking engagement. We spoke Friday night and 2 times Saturday. Each speech was different unintentionally.
Yeah, I mean, we practiced a lot, but it just came out different every time. But I think it went really well.
I do too. And you all know us. We're very ad-libbers, I guess you would say. And it's a lot about the crowd too. Some, like the first day, I think there was only one group that knew who we were. Right. The rest, they might have just been sitting in the AC because we had an AC building. But, we were talking to strangers, basically, that had no idea who we were. So that kind of changed it up a little bit. And then Saturday, there was a lot more of the Stive tribe there. So it was a little bit, more towards them, I guess, because you already knew who we were. But we had a lot of fun. We stayed Friday night and Saturday night. Jed did awesome. Big shout out to her brother, my brother-in-law that still lives in the basement. A lot of people ask. Yeah. He held down the farm. He did milk Daisy, which was the biggest new thing. He's taken care of our farm before, but never had to milk a cow by himself before. He did a great job, and nothing died. Yeah. That's the good thing. It feels like almost every time we go somewhere, like a chicken or something seems to die, but thankfully nothing did this time. So these events are important to go to. We really enjoy going to them. We haven't done it since 2019 for obvious reasons. But this was the first one and the only one we were going to be able to do in 2021. And we truly believe, thanks to YouTube and then thanks to these events, it really allows you to meet like-minded people, build your community, and ultimately you're going to find like some lifelong friends that aren't very far from where you live, which is the really cool part that you would have never met.
Most of you watching, if you know us, you know that we really wanted to move to this area, and we really felt called to be part of Appalachia. We always have thought that was who we are deep inside, and that's just our people. And this weekend really solidified that. It felt like home, and it felt awesome to meet people that think just like us, and some people weren't even interested in the farming aspect, but just meeting them and knowing that they're, our kind of people was really cool. And hopefully a lot of people took something away from it. I think they did. I mean, we really had a lot of questions. Yeah. So that was really cool just to see people who don't even have chickens start to thinking about it and starting to think about garden and growing their own food. And it was really neat. We also did talk to a lot of young people, which is cool. Usually like on YouTube and stuff, it's the older community, not older, but older than us, people that are already doing this, or have been doing it for a long time. But our goal always is to get more young people involved. Like part of our speech was about the first generation farmer and how difficult that is to start as a first generation farmer when you're not being handed, the skills or the land. Yeah, or the land. So it's really cool to be able to inspire that in people, and I hope it worked. And, I told him on the way home, even if, obviously we don't want people rushing out and, getting in over their heads, but if we at least planted a seed, then that's awesome. And that's, ultimately what we want to do on here too, is just plant that seed so that maybe 3 years from now you hear somebody else say, oh, I have chickens, and you think back and you're like, oh yeah, maybe I really did have an interest in that. Maybe I should go for it, or maybe I should grow my own food. So yeah,
Yeah, and so to kind of give you a breakdown of our speech, because I know a lot of people ask what you posted on here. We're not going to post the whole thing because it's about 30 to 45 minutes. And to be just completely honest, we rewatched it, and when you're watching it on a screen, it's so much more boring than when you're there in person. I don't feel like it was that boring, but just watching it on a screen doesn't give it justice.
Well, it's watching yourself, right?
Yeah, watching yourself.
I don't even like to watch our own YouTube videos.
Right. So the breakdown was we really just did a quick intro. And then we kind of gave our backstory because, like she mentioned, one of our biggest criticisms is, what are these 30-year-olds going to teach me? Quite to our surprise that, you know, most of those people were first-time gardeners, hardly had any chickens, so that was really great because our speech really worked with them. But we gave our backstory, who we were, where we came from, and then kind of gave a top 5 of what we feel like you need to succeed on a homestead. Real quick, those top 5 in order are fencing, security, gardens, barns and infrastructure, chickens, and then you can move to goats, sheep, and then to cattle. We think if you kind of go in that order, you're setting yourself up for good success. So here's a couple quick clips of it.
We are 95th Appalachian Fair, sponsored by Little Caesars, and there's Stivers Homestead up there on the banner, and there's the little one from Stivers Homestead, and the bigger one. Whoops.
From Stivers Homestead in Kentucky. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Zach and Jen Stivers, like Lisa had said, we are Stivers Homestead. We were no big farm. We're nothing that you're going to see, nothing you've heard about, more than likely. You haven't came and toured our farm. Nobody really has. However, we are YouTubers.
Second date, I told him that I wanted to be like Laura Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie. And I know that sounds weird to people because you're probably thinking, well, they struggled. Why in the world would you want to do that? And he kind of looked at me and said, I want to homeschool our kids. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And I want us to be a family that is close-knit together all the time. I want to raise our own food, have gardens, and I want to raise our own meat, and I want to be sustainable. And, obviously we live in a world where it's hard to be 100% sustainable. However, we did go back to the pole barn. It was literally an empty shell, and at that point we were like, okay, well, somehow we have to make this a home.
Because we weren't moving back in with my mom.
Right. We still were not plumbers, still not electricians, and still did not know how to build a house. But we put up some walls, and I think our funniest accomplishment to date is that we literally pooped in a bucket for 5 years.
For 5 years.
And that sounds crazy, but when you want something so bad and you want a dream so bad and you want to get to sustainability, you'll do anything that you can to make that happen.
And when did poop get so weird? We all, I guess when you have to literally dump a bucket every 2 to 3 days and you're getting to see everyone that's been in your house, it gets really comfortable with yourself. But I'll save you some of that dramatics. I think that's not talked about enough, failure. Because when we do YouTube videos and we're showing people how to do things and it's successful over and over and over again, that actually turns people away, right? Like if you're watching somebody that's always doing it right or it's always working out for them, and you're sitting at your house like, I can keep a chicken alive to save my life, or like this weasel won't stop getting my chicken coop and I'm doing everything right, but I keep failing. What we do, at least from our YouTube channel, is we show you those failures because we want you to know that you ain't alone.
Chickens can do a lot for your farm, and that's what we learned. Not just die, because that's what they like to do. Or not just get eaten by predators, because that's what they like to do. But they can provide eggs, meat, all kinds of stuff. You can sell cute little baby chicks. It's an important part. And that's what we always tell people. If you're going into this and you want to start off, get yourself some chickens. Be prepared to lose the first round and then start over. It's okay. Yep. It's better off to learn that loss on the easy end than it is on the harder end when you start getting into what I call big stock, livestock, small stock. I call chickens small stock, cows are big stock.
Right. One thing to try to regenerate something off your property and off your land, you're homesteading. So I just wanted to kind of clear that. But we jumped to chickens first because I guarantee if any of y'all got dabbled in any kind of animals, you bought chickens before you were supposed to do the first 2 things. And the first 2 things are fencing and security and some form of infrastructure is number 2. She's 1 year old and she's about 1,100 pounds right now. They can hurt you, and they can hurt you bad. So you just have to be ready for that.
Never wear flip-flops.
Never wear flip-flops. We're all based around it. We just want to share with everyone. So.
It is also a community group of people who are like us, and they're trying to put that spark into people, or try to make it come alive if it's somewhere very deep inside of you.
Yeah.
They will encourage you, and they will help you along every step of the way, and we will too.
Yeah, and I guarantee you'll learn something new.
Yes, and we will tell your husband that he should get you good.
Oh yeah, yeah. If your husband's not wanting something, I'll definitely push it because it'll end up happening. All right. But besides our hope of just sparking someone to maybe get some chickens or start a little garden, or expand their garden from their first year of being successful, it was meeting people, and we had a blast. I would say there's probably 40-ish, 30 or 40-ish Stive Stivers that we met, and it was fantastic.
So much.
We had a great time with them. And you know, this one's a little different. Most of the homesteading events is packed full of homestead YouTubers for the most part. So you get to meet a lot of them, and just the fact that this was a state or a county fair, right? It was just a fair. We were the only homesteaders there. The rest was rides, and then like competitions on the best plants or best pies and best cakes, which were really good. But what I'm getting at is it really meant a lot that you all traveled to just see us and, you know, and the fair. But it wasn't, you get all this other bundle package. So thank you all. Here's some of the pictures of the folks that we got to meet. So I took off Monday because I knew that we would need the day. Any weekend away from the homestead usually piles up the to-do list. So we got back bright and early Sunday morning. I immediately went and like hugged my cows and milked them. It was bad. The Appalachian Fair, they did a lot of like livestock competitions, and Jen and I were walking down all the cattle areas, the sheep and stuff, and we're like, man, first off, these things are beautiful, but we also want to see ours again. Yeah. So we got them milked. Then we worked on the Airbnb a little bit, because that was actually one of the top questions during our speech. So we're making progress there. We promise we'll show you all in the near future. Right now, one room is a disaster. But we started working on that. Today we did a lot of mowing, got it taken care of, had to go get feed, and then now the rain is setting in. What's her name? Ida? Ida's here. Prayers for everyone that's been in the impact of Ida.
I was actually just looking at pictures of people assessing the damage, and it's heartbreaking. So yes, prayers to all of you, and goodness, it's not going to be anywhere near that here.
Thankfully,
and we're so grateful for that. But yeah, you are in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely. I think we're scheduled to get about 2 to 4 inches of rain, which is a little bit of flooding, but nothing like what anybody's faced in. So we're going to take it easy, do some inside stuff, get that done, and maybe do baseball. We'll see.
Yeah, we're back to that time, so we'll see how that goes, if they get rained out or not. But we did have a lot of fun in Johnson City. I've been resting a lot today.
Yeah, we're pooped. It was as fun as it was. We're pooped.
Johnson City was a big city, and people that live there,
crazy.
Surprisingly, they were like, "Oh, it's small." Like, no, this is huge. You don't understand where we live. So there was lots of restaurants, you know, of course, and we were in a hotel, so we ate out a lot.
Did a lot of non-homesteading things.
Yes, did a lot of non-homesteading things. Did not eat a lot of homesteading food. So
no.
Kind of recovering from that.
Yeah, it's funny when your body's used to it, and then you go break away for a weekend. It's like, what did you do to me?
You know, I knew it. I kept telling myself, stop it. Stop doing that. Stop eating that food. But here we are. It was exciting. It was exciting to see stores and people and life, and it was really cool.
Yeah, there was a roundabout, and I was like, what do I even do here? I forgot. I haven't been on one in forever.
There was a lot of traffic falls.
Oh my goodness. I thought my road rage, I didn't have it no more, but man, I just need to get back into the big city. There was more stoplights in that area than I've seen.
If you don't understand what we're talking about, we live in a very small town.
Very small.
Whenever we venture out, it's literally culture shock.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, y'all, we have had a lot of fun. This week is going to be nuts. We got to get the rest of all the orders out from the pre-sale, get the next pre-sale in the works. So if you did miss August, stay tuned for September's. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. But stay tuned to the videos. There's a lot of interesting things that are happening. I did want to mention one thing from our previous video about the mandates. Thank you all. Oh, honestly, thank you all for that. It is raining and it's cool and she wants to get on this couch. But anyways, real quick, just what I wanted to say, because we've been working hard, is thank you all for the responses from the video about my job. There will probably be an update of that this week, just because, you know, we've opened the door, so we wanted to keep the ones that care informed on where it's going. But anyways, what I'm getting at is the community down in the comments. We very much monitored on both sides, people for and against, you know, all that good stuff. Anybody that got ugly towards each other, we got rid of, no matter what it was. But 99%, kind of like we said in that thing, were fantastic conversations and just, you know, praying for each other, hoping for the best, and that is what the world is about, is what we saw down in that comments. Like I said, don't let that 1% ruin your entire day, mood, outlook on life, because that other 99% is fantastic.
It really was incredible. Thank you all so much. It was humbling for me because I didn't know that you all were so kind.
It's fantastic, because the Stive tribe is the best tribe.
Yeah, and it was just truly amazing. So thank you, like he said. Yeah. We have the best. We have the best subscribers. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We're truly blessed to have you all.
We really are. So we just wanted to end this with a big old thank you. Thank you to everyone that came. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the mail. Those jars, that's like the best mail you can get right there, is to see some mason jars in the mail. And the kids are absolutely excited about the Lego set. So thank you all. Everybody keep praying for the world. Keep praying for us all. Praying for the Marines that we lost in Afghanistan. It's terrible what happened over there. It's terrible what continues to happen. And praying for everybody in the path of this hurricane that it went through. A lot of stuff going on. Just remember that God's walking with you, not against you. So just keep reaching to Him. If y'all haven't subscribed, make sure to down below.
We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.